talking about. It's a new day. It's a new day. All together, hand in hand. It's a new sing our love across the land. Right here, we're making a difference. And it'll take you there. It'll just show you things.
I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. Oh, grateful. I'm so grateful. So I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Now thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
I'm not complaining.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. I want to say thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. Say thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. I'm so
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Metairie. You are so welcome here. It's your first time. If you've been here all 40 years, stand and join us today as we come together in the name of love. You're in the right place at the right time. Welcome home, everybody. This is a new one, so don't get too scared. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Now do that again. I'm in the at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Yes, it right place,
All right.
being just what you need to be. So here we go.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be.
My soul's welcome here.
Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
All right, this is the dance
I
break.
am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome.
Sing it, y'all.
here. My soul is welcome here.
Yes.
My soul is welcome here. 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 Good morning, everybody. Let's take just a moment and say hello to your spiritual family with some hugs and handshakes, y'all. All right. That was so good.
Well, good morning and welcome to Unity of Metairie. Getting ready to start our service. My name is Shelley and welcome. I'd like to first ask if there are any visitors that are joining us today for the first time. We have some
All
visitors.
right.
So we have a spiritual packet that we'd like to give to you. It's a little gift from us, and there's got to have some good material in there, so you can read some of the pamphlets, learn more about what the Unity movement is about. But what you'll find is that we're not a religion, we are a philosophy. And the point of that philosophy is to help you find union with God and union with other people. So welcome to our center. We'd also like to say hello for those of you that are joining us on Facebook today. And hopefully you're having a wonderful spring day. It's beautiful out there. And If you're ever in the area, please stop by. We'd love to spend some time with you here at the center. I'd also like to ask if there's any children that would come up.
All right, here they come. Oh, and look at Bear. Bear's going to be too big to come up anymore. He's not going to be a baby. All right. He is bigger than last week.
Okay. Please join me in the children's blessing. Children of light,
Light.
we
Bless you.
We see you loved, guided, and protected by God's presence. And in New Orleans style.
We love you hard, hard, hard. We swear to God.
And it's also birthday Sunday.
Hey, you guys stay up here.
You guys want to stay up for birthday Sunday? We'll sing in a minute. And Hunter, you want to come back? Uh-oh.
He has fled the scene.
Oh, no. So for the birthdays today, or this month rather, Adam, if you're here, please come on up. David. Justine.
Wow.
She's home. Oh, hello. Jenny.
Lots of birthdays.
Marion. Mary, I see you're up here. And Hunter, we're going to wish you happy birthday from the back. Oh, you're going to come on up? Nice, okay. I think we've got half the congregation up here. And Kendra. Okay. And Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Wow. It is half the people, literally. So we're going to sing. You guys ready to sing to these folks? And we do have birthday cake after the service. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. And many more. All right. Hunter's like, what have they got me into up here? Happy birthday, Marion. I didn't know your birthday was this month.
Okay. And Steve will present the daily word today.
Good morning. Okay, this is the daily word for today. Sunday, May 5th, 2019, and the daily word is transformation. Christ awareness transforms my life experience. The creation story in the first chapter of Genesis tells us that humankind is created in the image of God. As I listen again to these powerful words, the truth of my divine essence, my Christ nature, takes root in my mind and heart. I declare with the Apostle Paul, it is no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me. Belief in lack or limitation dissolves as I accept my Christ nature. Divine life revitalizes my body. Divine love harmonizes my relationships. Divine imagination shows me new possibilities. Divine wisdom and understanding guide my decisions and actions. Divine faith strengthens my commitment to transformation. Christ awareness transforms my life experience. I give thanks for my new life in Christ. And the scripture today is from Galatians 2:20. It is no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me.
Beautiful words to get our service started today. So welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Fowler, the spiritual director with this wonderful group of people. I'm so happy to be with you this week. I missed you last week, and I'm happy to be home on this beautiful spring day. It's Cinco de Mayo, you guys. I didn't remember that. I was so busy this week, and I said, May 5th. That kind of rings a bell. Oh, Cinco de Mayo. There's some flan back there, too, in addition to the birthday cake. We're all going to be sugared out. But we welcome you here to our spiritual center. And unity is a beautiful teaching. It is a movement that honors all people. We see the divine presence in every living being. We honor all religions, all spiritual paths, all lifestyles. We believe that wherever you are, God is. So let's all just take a big, deep breath and become centered here and now. Begin to allow your body to relax and begin to let go of any concerns you may have brought in with you and just send them right back out the door. Knowing that everything that you need is right here in this moment. As a matter of fact, you are exactly where you need to be. As the song says, you're in the right place at the right time. You are always being guided to be in that perfect and right place. So for that, we are so grateful. And this morning, as we do every Sunday, we light our Christ candle, which you see here in the front, which is symbolic of that presence within all living things. For we know this presence was shown so beautifully by Jesus, by Buddha, Krishna, and all those spiritual masters that have come before us to show us the way, to teach us. And all of these masters had one message in common, and that is there is only one life, one love, one presence, God the good, and one poor little Christ candle that won't light. Well, maybe. Well, we'll just let that, it's all symbolic anyway. We'll let that one burning next to it be it. How about that? That is now, that is officially the Christ candle. So once again, we become centered here in this moment, in this stillness, right here, right now. We enter into the presence of God because we are here. That presence within us, this loving, magnificent life, right here, right now. Right here, right now. We have come into the presence of God. And our hearts are open to the love that's found right here, right now. Right here, right now. We have come into the presence of God. And our hearts are open to the love that's found right here, right now. And our hearts are open. And our hearts are open to the love that's found right here, right now. So it invites you to just relax as we enter into a deeper time of prayer and meditation. Also invite you to go ahead and silence your cell phone or anything else that might create a noise during our service so we can create this sacred space together. Allow yourself to become still. Begin to consciously pay attention to your breath as you slow your body down. Breathing in deeply, inhaling and exhaling. Begin to consciously watch your breath as it comes into your body and leaves your body as you exhale. Begin to use this breath as a mantra, a place to focus. If you become distracted, have wandering thoughts, or even become irritated, which sometimes happen as we try to move into stillness, just bring your attention gently back to your breath. For your breath is sacred. It is the very breath of God. And as you continue to breathe, feel your body slowing down, relaxing. Begin to allow your legs to become still. Release any tenseness there. Feel your abdomen become still and quiet. Release any tension from your chest as you feel your shoulders gently drop. Release any stress from your neck, your forehead. And begin to allow your face to soften. Becoming still, quiet, present, here and now. Breathing in the very breath of God. Breathing in the light of God. Breathing in the life of God. Allow yourself to begin to become empty, still and quiet. And just as your body has relaxed and become still, take a moment and look at your thoughts. Begin to pay attention to what's there in your mind right now in this moment. Maybe thoughts of wandering, concern, thoughts about what will happen after service, maybe something that happened this week, whatever is there. Just begin to allow it to fall away. As you begin to surrender to the emptiness, surrender to the perfection of this holy, sacred moment. As best you can, let those thoughts fall away. Feel your mind calming down, beginning to unwind. And now begin to notice the space between your thoughts. Begin to notice and experience that stillness between each thought. For this space is a gap that leads you inward, in touch with your true self, your true identity created in the image and likeness of God. This is the only part of you that is real. For everything we see in this world will pass away and disappear. But within you, your true essential self, this is the part that was here before you were born into your body. It is within you now as your life. And it is the only thing you will take with you from this experience. This, your true self, is still in this moment exactly as God created it. Whole, perfect, complete. This, your true self, is completely untouched by anything you've experienced on your journey here. For your true self knows nothing of sickness, of sorrow, of sadness, of death. For it is your eternal, true nature. Timeless, ageless, forever safe, forever loving, forever loved, held in the hands of grace. You enter the sacred space within you as you move into stillness, taking all of your focus off of the world, everything that is temporary, focusing on your true inner self. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that all is well. So we begin to listen to that still, small voice that we can only hear in the silence. It is always guiding you, always leading you. We trust in the perfection of life. For what could you not accept if you knew that everything that has ever happened, past, present, and to come, is led by one whose only purpose is your good? In the silence, we wait. In the stillness, in the emptiness, listening in the silence. From this sacred space, this silent, beautiful emptiness, may we open our hearts, open our minds, listening to this wisdom within us that is so powerful, yet it is a still, small voice. It longs for us to look within so it can remind us of who we are, for we have forgotten. May we remember our true nature. May we remember who we are and awaken to our divinity, letting go of perceived limitations, fears, doubts, stepping into the truth of who and what we are as blessed children of God. And so for this time together, which has been orchestrated by Spirit and perfection, we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Good morning. So glad to see everybody. Feeling extremely calm today. Maybe we should bring our carpet squares and lay down. Remember those carpet squares when you were little? Did anybody have those in the kindergarten? You're looking at me like a two-headed alien baby. You don't know what I'm talking about? They used to pull out in kindergarten, they would pull out these little carpet squares and we would take a nap on them. It's amazing to think I was at one time small enough to fit on a little carpet square. So here we are, Cinco de Mayo. I heard a rumor that there's flan in the back too. Actually, it's not a rumor, I already have a piece in the office, so help yourself to that homemade flan, and don't forget our birthday cake for all of our wonderful birthday people. I think that's the most birthday people that we've ever had on a Sunday. And I was trying to think back 8 months ago, when was that? That must be a really kind of active period. I was thinking, what is 8 months ago? Who could think of that? October? August. Something, it's the heat. Something was in the air. It's a lot of babies. Oh, yeah, kids are back at school. That's it. Denise is a teacher. She would know. You're exactly right. Oh, my God, you're exactly right. I love that. Denise has solved the mystery. I'm glad to see you, Denise. I miss seeing you, sweetie. So let's all just breathe in this beautiful morning, this beautiful day. So many wonderful things are happening around us, so much energy. Some of the things we just get used to, like, I'm so excited about Jazz Fest. It's the 50th year of Jazz Fest. This is the world-class festival. I hope you've been able to maybe enjoy some of it. I live right in the middle of the quarters, you hear me talk about all the time, and I try to make every day becoming aware of and not take for granted this unique, beautiful place that I live. It's one of the last places of heritage like that in our country, where the culture just stays intact with its own food and its own little crazy language. The I love you hard, 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 I swear to God, actually came from a neighbor I had in the 90s, and she used to sit out on her stoop. She would say, oh, I love you, doll, when I'd come out and see her, because I'd help her do stuff. She was pretty elderly, and she'd say, oh, I love you, doll. I do. I love you hard, hard, hard. I swear to God, you're my heart. You're my heart. So New Orleans. So anybody watching on Facebook, yeah, that's what you get when you come here. And by the way, welcome everybody, wherever you may be across the globe. You are part of our ever-growing tribe of people that are streaming the love. So we send you a lot of love and blessing, and thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed the music and the readings and the inspiration today. So sometimes it seems as though we have problems. I know parts of my life have been filled with a lot of drama. Anybody else have parts of your life like that? And it felt like all that I ever did was put out fires. Like I didn't ever seem to have time to sit and just create something new, because I felt like I was always a step behind. Getting a call about this needs to happen, this needs to happen, or, a family thing or relationship thing. And it seemed like it was just always, couldn't get ahead, because I was always just putting out fires is the best way to put it, I think. Do you understand what I'm saying? We say things sometimes like, when everything gets all together, then I'll be okay and I'll be able to move forward. And hopefully many of us have moved out of that stage. And although I experience that sometimes, the majority of my life is actually actively sitting, spending time with Spirit during meditation, just co-creating. And I don't feel like I'm just spending a lot of my time spinning my wheels and just taking care of things. And it's a beautiful place to be. And problems, become relative. I think of some of the problems I thought when I was 20 years old are kind of laughable now. I remember at one point I was at a conference called Sand, Sea, and Spirit, which some of you went to a few years ago, and we're going to be talking about that, us joining this wonderful group at Gulf Shores, Alabama in September, having some people go and join us. It's a spiritual retreat right on the beach, and it's just awesome with all kind of stuff. And I've been involved with it for about 15 years. Anyway, I remember being there and just being in such a state of heightened awareness and of beauty and of love. And I just couldn't even relate to problems. And so I called a friend of mine and said, Tim, I was like, I need prayer. He's like, you need prayer? I'm the one that calls you for prayer. Oh my God, I can't take this. I'm going to freak out. I said, well, I can't decide if I should get into the pool or the hot tub first. I mean, that's a relative problem, right? So sometimes, though, people show up for us and remind us that many of our problems are really small. And go ahead and put up the talk slide, because this is what I'm going to be talking about today, and talking about a person that has done that for me. Seeing beyond circumstances. This has been on my mind a lot. I've been reading a lot and reminding myself of Viktor Frankl, and many of you may know of this wonderful person. And what Viktor Frankl went through compared to what I think I have to go through, my life is a piece of cake. I should be doing one of Dancing in the Rain from a Disney movie compared to this gentleman. He was alive and his family was Jewish. They were alive. They were Austrian. Unfortunately, they were alive during the Holocaust time and Hitler's regime, and his entire family was taken into the concentration camps. Every single one of his family members, which there were quite a few, were cooked, literally cooked. Only he and his sister survived. Now, what's so astonishing about Viktor Frankl is not only did he survive this horrendous ordeal, but he thrived when he was released. He thrived and made a huge contribution to the world because he realized that highest level of suffering, when you just think God has completely forgotten me. Like, I can't even imagine the inhumanity of what these people went through. I just can't imagine it. I mean, I'm sure many of them thought, please let me die. I can't take this anymore. It's just amazing to me to think that that happened. And it wasn't really a long, long time ago. It wasn't like the 1700s or something. I mean, this was this last century. And I just think, wow, what within a human being could cause them to treat others in that way? It's incomprehensible to me. However, we have to just trust in the flow of life. I have no idea. I have no way to even how to answer that part of it. However, what Viktor did with this experience, he turned it around and he did learn to see beyond his circumstance in a big, huge way. And he made it his life's journey to share that with others, just so they could use some of the processes that he used when he was in the concentration camps. Now, one of the reasons that he was not put to death is because he was of value to the Nazis. He was a very smart man. He was a psychiatrist. He knew a lot about neurology. So, unfortunately, he was forced to perform experiments on some of the people that he loved. To me, that's even worse, a step further. But what I think about is if he survived the Holocaust, and not only that, but he was released and thrived, so can any person in this room, big time. So when you put everything in perspective, I would think that most of the problems of everyone in this room, if we think about it, are very small compared to him and what he went through. Have you ever had one of those days when you were like, oh, woe is me, like, I'm trying to think of a problem. I mean, somebody yell out a problem. What's the problem? Car breaks down, good one. She's like, man, my car broke down. What am I going to do? You know, and then at some point during trying to get it towed and fixed, you might see someone, you know, in a worse state than you are. You might see someone that's very ill or very sick. And, you know, we just get these reminders sometimes from Spirit to say, like, what you griping about? What you griping about? This is nothing. And by the way, on that subject, I truly believe, and you've heard me talk about this before, that we're always where we're supposed to be. So if your car did break down, you're supposed to be in that spot, standing there waiting for the tow truck. You are being God right there in that moment. the hands and feet and voice of God. Someone may come up to ask, give you help. You may have a conversation, and you may say something that completely changes a person's life, or they may say something you need to hear. But you're always where you're supposed to be. So we got to kind of get that straight, and that's hard to accept when we do have something like a car breaking down. But we get reminders that our problems really aren't that important. So Victor learned to live beyond circumstances by a few processes that he practiced. Now, one of the differences, now I'm getting kind of scientific and technical here, which is a stretch for me because my mind didn't go into science that much. I'm all like creative on that side of the brain. I mean, I can't do a math problem. I can write anything. I mean, but give me a math problem, like duh. But the processes that he used scientifically, he started thinking about what's the difference between us and other animals. I mean, I hate to say it, but we're kind of like animals, Some of us more than others. The difference is we're able to become self-aware and have a consciousness. And we have the ability to see beyond what we are and actually step away from who we are and look back at ourselves. And that's something that animals can't do. And actually, it's a benefit to animals because that's why they're just like, la, 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 all is well. That's why they're able to stay in the moment because they're like, la, 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 no problem. I love it, And have you ever noticed that animals forgive so quickly? You'll see two dogs. We went to the Barkus Parade, I remember seeing these two dogs are growling, like, and then like 2 seconds later, they're like kissing each other like nothing ever happened. They don't hold grudges. But animals do not have self-awareness and the ability to project themselves beyond where they are. Does that make sense? You have within you a consciousness that is very aware and is very self-aware. And sometimes you hear about this with people that have superhuman strength in the middle of an emergency. We've all heard stories about this documented where a car is on a child and a woman that may weigh 145 pounds goes and lifts the car. You've heard these stories before? And they're like, how does she do that? For in that moment, she was able to project beyond herself and actually be something different than what she appeared to be for that one moment. And so this is what Victor used when he was in the concentration camp. He said because the pain, the emotional and physical pain was so unbearable, just unbearable, that he began the practice of projecting himself away from himself as though he was watching what was happening to him instead of experiencing it. Kind of makes sense? This is also what children do that are severely abused. They literally pull away from themselves and just become the watcher of it. And that's why many children don't have memories of being abused, and it has to come out later because they literally have to separate themselves from the pain. Some of you here may have experienced something like this. This is also one of the things that causes multiple personalities as well. When you separate so much, there's like a whole party of you there, So our self-awareness is what gives us the benefit of being able to look at the circumstances around us and actually project something differently from within us than what we're actually seeing. And this is a huge metaphysical principle about manifesting as well, because you can never manifest something in your life if you continue to look at what's there right then. So if you don't have enough money in the bank right now and you're continually looking at your banking account, you're just reinforcing that. And you continue to create it over and over again. The way to get out of it is seeing beyond the circumstance and beginning to see yourself, even if you have to separate from yourself, and see yourself in a better situation. However that works for you. See yourself with more money, or feel what it would feel like to be able to jump in a plane and go to Paris if you wanted to, or anything that feels good to you. Freedom is being able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whoever you want to do it with. That's freedom. So whatever that means for you, you have to look beyond the circumstance and see something new and different. That's how we create. If you want something new. If your life is perfect, then you don't have to worry about it. And so there's some really great quotes from Victor. I'm going to start out with this one. By the way, his book, which has sold over 12 million copies since it was published, is called Man's Search for Meaning. And it is a very powerful book where he details some of these processes in a more eloquent way than I ever could, because he's the one that experienced it. You know, I can talk about it, but he experienced it, and so he's able to share it in a deeper way. But this is what he said. My experiences as a concentration camp inmate led him, or this is not him speaking, but talking about him, which led him to discover the importance of finding meaning in all forms of existence, even the most brutal ones, and thus a reason to continue living. Because I imagine that many of the people in those concentration camps, that's why they couldn't stay alive, because they were in such torment that they found no meaning in their life anymore. And once you give up and feel like there's no meaning in your life, then you quickly begin to decline, emotionally and physically. So he discovered the importance of finding meaning in all forms of existence, even the most brutal ones, and thus a reason to continue living. Man's Search for Meaning, his book, has sold over 12 million copies, has been translated into 24 different languages. So I wanted to read a couple of really great quotes from him and others, which talks about living beyond circumstances. So Todd, thank you, Todd, for filling in as our DJ today. Everett wasn't able to be with us, so thank you so much. Doing a great job. So I love this. Everything can be taken from a man and woman, but one thing. Everything can be taken away but one thing. The last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Now there's some things that you can control that happen to you through your, the powerful creator that you are, but there are some things that just happen. They just happen. And there's nothing we can do about that. However, we can choose how we respond to those things. That's what I think spiritual mastery really is. It's not collecting a whole bunch of stuff and manifesting like the secret says, which you can do that. But the true spiritual mastery comes when you're able to have peace no matter what is happening. Even have peace when your bank account is low. I mean, do something about it, but you don't worry about it. So look at this. The one last freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. I just love this. This is one of his more famous quotes that's used a lot, in bumper stickers and quotes. And the reason is because it's so powerful. Okay, let's look at a few others. Some of these are by him and some by others. This is just a person on Instagram that I found that I loved. Close your eyes and see beyond the circumstances around. Connect to the genius inside of you. I love that. Get a feel of your inner self, break frontiers, and do exploits. Close your eyes and see beyond the circumstances around. Connect to the genius inside of you. Get a feel of your inner self. I love using the word genius, and I've heard this used by a couple of teachers. One of them is Rick Rubin, which is a very, very successful music producer. I mean, he produced everybody from Guns N' Roses to, it's a whole list of, not just rock, but a whole list of, you would know every person, huge acts that he produced. And Rick Rubin says the way that he produces music, that he's not able to do it in his normal state. He has to meditate to access the genius within him, and without that, he could not do what he does. And that's true for all of us, because if you're willing to acknowledge it or not, you are genius within yourself. You are genius within yourself. You have the very power and knowledge of God within you. But in order to use this, we have to access that within us. That's what happens during meditation and spiritual practice. We learn to access that. And this is what I think this person, I think it's called Abeksheli. I can't even pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Like I said, this is someone on Instagram. I thought this was beautiful. Get a feel of your inner self. Okay, let's look at another one. I love this. This is by Apostle Jinka Julius. My grace is sufficient for you. Look beyond the circumstances, the symptoms, and look for the root of your life to be healed and transformed. I see beyond the now. I am the eternal one that supplies your every need, my child. I see beyond the now. I am the eternal one that supplies your every need. This is one of the keys of looking beyond circumstances and seeing further is seeing beyond the now and seeing beyond what is happening in this moment. Okay, another one, please. This is Victor's, another one of his really famous quotes. It says, between stimulus and response, there's a space. So he's using very scientific stimulus. In other words, something happens to you and your response to it. Between there's a space. Something happens and here's your reaction. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Once again, talking about things are going to happen. And things happened to him, huge. But he learned that in between that space, between stimulus, something happening to us, something stimulating us, and response, there's a space. That's where your growth and your freedom lies. How do you respond? All right, I think there's one more. It's another one, great. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Don't like that one. Don't like it a bit. But sometimes we're not able to change a situation. I mean, Viktor Frankl was in this Holocaust camp. He couldn't do anything about it. Not a darn thing. But he could change himself. He could change his perception. He could reach into a deeper meaning of life for himself. Is there one more, Todd, or is that? Okay, cool, thank you. So from reading Viktor Frankl, I would encourage you to look more into him. There's a lot of information about him online, and his book is amazing and powerful. The gist of all this is, what it boils down to, and this aligns so beautifully with unity principles and what we talk about here. And I talked about it some in meditation today. To see beyond our circumstances, we first of all must realize that this body is not who you are. This body is almost like an avatar. You know, we see that in movies and now online a lot. You know, with little, I love using my avatars whenever I do FaceTime, and it drives my friends crazy. Have you ever done that? Like, I'll call somebody and be a chicken, and it like really like mimics your face, or a cat or something, and my friends are like, oh, that's so creepy. Or I'll sing some song, you know, and they're like, oh, that's creepy, cut it off. But we have to realize that our bodies are like those avatars. They're functioning and they appear to be here, but it's not who you really are. And when we see beyond our circumstances, we look into the eternal. We contact our true nature, which is eternal. And our true nature is completely untouched by the things that have happened in our lives, no matter how horrible, if any horrible thing has happened to you. And even what happened to Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl has now made his transition. Who he really is in spirit, created in the image and likeness of God, when he made his transition, was completely held in the mind of God. It is the DNA of who you are. So we have to think of this life as not a life, but a journey, an experience. That's how we look beyond circumstances. It's hard to do this, though, because things seem so real here, and they seem like they affect us so much. But if you like it or not, there'll be some time in the future when you won't be here anymore. And how are those things even going to matter? I remember a couple things I want to say right here. I was so excited to hear a report today that there's a recent study of people with HIV showing that there is a way to take some medicine and not transmit the disease anymore. And they're calling it almost like a cure that will actually stop this disease. And I didn't know if that would happen in my lifetime because I buried a lot of friends back in the early 90s. And a person I love dearly, I was held responsible for some of his affairs afterwards, and he did, make his transition and passed away from it. And I'll never forget going to the post office. I was trying to finalize all his affairs, and going to the post office like 2 or 3 months after he had passed, and there was a letter. Not from him. I thought you were going to say a letter from him was in the mailbox. No. There was a letter from a credit card company that said, "Dear Mr. Bamford, you must pay the minimum payment by the end of this month, or we will be reporting you to the credit score bureaus. And we will send your account to a collection agency. I just laughed my butt off. I was like, oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. You know, here he is, gone. I mean, body gone. He's experiencing in the ether something wonderful. He has no idea about a credit card debt. And I was just laughing at how ludicrous it is that we become upset over those kind of things. See how crazy that is? I mean, it's insane to allow your precious time, your precious, beautiful time, worrying about something. I want to invent something called the worry meter that somehow fits on your head, and it takes account of how much you worry during the day. And it shows you in a week how much time you have wasted worrying. Wouldn't that be great? Because I don't think that we realize how much we worry about stuff if we added it up. And that getting that letter just really shifted me in a way. And of course, you know, we need to pay our bills and we need to do all those things. I'm not saying be irresponsible, but it just showed me something, and I just laughed. No matter what age you are, no matter what physical condition you're in now, the one thing that we know, what are the two things they say are true? Taxes and death. And what? And shrimp. And Cher, that's true, Cher too. You know, Cher's going on another tour. I mean, I can't believe it. She's done 3 farewell tours, and she's truly going on another tour. She's going to be at the Smoothie Center in December. I mean, she's like 112, and she's still out there dancing in her panties. I mean, she was on the Jimmy Fallon show dancing in her panties the other night. I was like, wow, looks good for 112. I have to give it to her, you know. And there's even a Cher show on Broadway. How crazy. Yeah, so we have to include Cher in that. But death and taxes is what I was thinking of. But those things are true, and it is true that we won't be here. And just, I would challenge you this week to think about the things you worry about and begin to look beyond the circumstances and even say it. Sometimes I will actually say it out loud. If I see something that upsets me or I'm in a situation that upsets me, I will just say it out loud. I am a holy child of God. In this moment, I am still just like God created me. I am perfect. This is a temporary situation. It does not affect my true nature. I will always be this magnificent thing that I am, and nothing that happens in this world can change that. And for Victor even said, nothing can change that, even a concentration camp. If he can say that, I can use it for anything, literally anything. That is the key to looking beyond our circumstances. That's the process that we use. And what I tell people, especially on our Wednesday night class when we're able to really interact more and we chat, which I encourage you to come to, we base on A Course in Miracles, but it's just on anything spiritual you want to talk about, 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. We talk about, I challenge them to look at everything and realize that, and this is what Course in Miracles and other things teach us, is that look at everything and realize that in the end, that's not even real. That's not even a true thing. And it's, like I said, it's hard to acknowledge that because we see the chair, we see our hand, we see our foot, whatever. But it's not who we are. And we need to ask for help. That's the bigger idea that I wanted to say here too, is if you don't know what to do, ask for guidance. We forget to do this. We think we're going to handle it on our own. Ask for guidance. And what that might look like for you is, okay, God, whatever you want to call it, God, universe, spirit, Uncle Charlie, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm experiencing something that I don't like and I have lost my peace. What can I do to help restore that? Help me to know what to do. How do I look beyond these circumstances? How do I get in touch with my true nature, which is completely untouched by these circumstances? Ask for help. Very simply, we forget that so much, that there is this vast source of wisdom and inspiration within us that is waiting for us to ask for help, and we forget. So we can look beyond circumstances. This is how we find our peace. We look beyond what is in front of us. We handle it, of course. This is not about going into denial. We do whatever we can do at the best of our ability at that time and realize that when we look into the eternal, we look beyond our circumstances. When we look and find our true self within, we look beyond our circumstances. When we realize that we are eternal, beautiful creations of God, forever loving, forever loved, we are looking beyond our circumstances. When we see the world as a temporary place that we have come to experience, whatever it is for us to experience, and we realize that someday it will all pass away, at that point we are looking beyond our circumstances. And so we bless Viktor Frankl for teaching us this beautiful and powerful lesson. And even after all that he endured, he looked beyond that and saw something beautiful, something holy. Even in his horrific circumstances, he saw his true self. So this week, my prayer for us is that we all continue to see within us this eternal nature. We begin to look at our problems as temporary. There's a reason that we say this too shall pass all the time, because it is true. And on this beautiful day, may we remember and remind each other of our magnificence. May we mirror this love of God and mirror this inner presence back to one another. For you are always guided, always protected, held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. You are a beautiful child of God. Enough, just as you are enough. This is the truth about you, and this is the truth about me. And so it is. Amen and amen. So we come to that part of our service where we give to support this wonderful spiritual community. We're so grateful to everyone that gives of their time, their talent, supporting our financial situation. However you give this morning, we're so grateful. And for everyone that's watching us today on Facebook, once again, thank you for joining us. And we appreciate all the support that you continue to give us online. And as always, you can just look beyond the post that you're watching of the live streaming. Right below that, there's a post that you can, with one click, securely and easily give to our vision of co-creating a world that works for everyone. It's secure and easy. You can use any credit card or any PayPal account. And we appreciate and are grateful for all that you've given us, for our ever-growing tribe of people around the world. And for everyone here in the room, we bring our offering forward as an act of giving in faith, put it in the basket here, and as we do, we take an affirmation with us. For anyone that would like to pay electronically with a credit card, Sam will be waiting in the Welcome Center. Or are you going to be in the office? Okay, go to the office right over here if you don't know where that is. Sam, wave your hand. There's Sam right there. Hey. She will take a credit card if you'd like to give that way today. And however you give, we are so grateful because we are so blessed. We are so grateful, not only for what we have, but more importantly for who we are. So as we give this morning, let's sing this song affirming this truth, knowing how blessed we are and how loved we are. Thank you, God. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all. And if anyone would like to stay seated, we have Ken with our offering bag. Just simply raise your hand and he will meet you wherever you are. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. All that I have, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. say, we are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. And I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And we are grateful to everyone that gives to our spiritual family, everyone that volunteers, that works in the office. Thank you, Todd, for running sound today and live streaming. He's done it all. David, I think you're going to need to go help back there and maybe have two of you guys doing that. Can you help giving through directly on the website? So once again, thank you all for giving. Thank you for being with us today. It's been such an awesome, awesome day. Anybody going to Jazz Fest? No? Actually, I'm not either this year. I usually try to go. You're going, Denise? Oh, you were jumping up and down like a chicken. I thought you were like saying yes. So everybody feeling good? It's been such an awesome, awesome day. So just a few announcements before we head out. We had a great time here on Friday night. We had our movie night return. We watched Awake, which was the story of Paramahansa Yogananda. I would suggest it reminded me again, if you haven't read Autobiography of a Yogi, you should today, or even go online and listen to an audiobook. Such a powerful, this man is responsible for bringing, for the most part, yoga and meditation to the West, and it's a very beautiful, interesting read. But we had nice attendance at the movie. We had popcorn and snow caps and all kind of candy, and that's the only time I eat Raisinets is when I go to the movies. But anyway, we had a great time, so thank you to everybody that was part of that. As I mentioned, Wednesday night we have a discussion group. It's not a class, it's a discussion group, very interactive, on A Course in Miracles. That happens every Wednesday at 7 p.m. But before that, at 6 p.m., we have a meditation with some guided words and music and still some silence and stillness. So plan to join us at 6 p.m. on Wednesday nights as well for that. We have a board meeting today after church. All are welcome to stay and be part of that if you would like. And next week is Mother's Day. This is usually a really great time for us. We usually have big attendance. This is a beautiful day to bring friends. We will have a special presentation and ceremony for the mothers. And I wanted to stress that, mothers don't have to be biological mothers. They can be anyone that nourished us and helped to raise us in that way. So during this time, we honor all mothers, and that could even be a male. Wow, we're like out of control here. Just anyone that nurtured us and helped us along our path and had that mothering instinct, we'll be honoring those as well as those that, adopted, gave birth, whatever. So plan to join us next week, and this is a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. Trying to think, can you guys help me, board members help me? Is there anything I'm missing? I didn't write stuff down. So today is Cinco de Mayo, so enjoy some Mexican food. Brenda, did you have something you want to say? Okay, cool. Yeah, the kids will be staying in service next week for Mother's Day. I think that's a great idea. And Sam is back there for lunch bunch. We have lunch bunch that meets. If you're not staying for the board meeting, where are we gonna go today? Somewhere? Voodoo Barbecue on Severn. The lunch bunch is a great way. Anybody watching that wants to meet us there? I don't know if Amila's in town, but she usually runs and meets at lunch bunch. A Voodoo Barbecue. This is a great way to get to know each other a little bit better than when we're sitting in here and we have such a short time to meet. So go to lunch bunch. And do we still need some volunteers for kids? If anyone is, Okay, so if you're interested and you feel called to maybe work with our youth program, see Brenda or Paul sitting right here. Don't forget it's birthday Sunday. So stay and have some cake with us. And as I said, everyone's welcome to join us for the board meeting. We're going to head out today. Did you like the new song? I love that song. That's by my good friend and amazing artist, Daniel Nahmod. So thank you for giving us permission to use that and stream it. And we got to call this guy, Jack Fowler, to see if we can use his song that we're about to sing now. No, I think it's okay. We're going to end our service by affirming that God's in everything. So join us today knowing that this is the truth. No, not Eddie Watkins Jr. There we go. My DJ skills are off today. This is affirming the truth that we see joy, we see peace, we see God in everything around us. Sing out loud. You can even dance around if you want to. I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything. Now we I feel joy, I feel peace. I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. Oh, and I see somebody dancing at home. They're dancing in their living room. I can see them in there. So this time we choose. It's always our choice. I choose joy, I choose peace, I choose goodness surrounding me. I choose love in every breath I breathe. I choose God in everything. I choose happiness, I choose freedom. I choose the beauty that lives in me. I choose perfection in what life brings. I choose God in everything. Now I know joy, I know peace, I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God's in everything. Yes, I know God's in everything. Namaste, 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 namaste. The divine presence within me honors the divine presence within you as we say namaste today. And once again, I'd like to welcome all our people that are here for the very first time. Good to see you guys, and thank you for bringing Hunter along and all your friends. And we sure hope to see you guys another time. And if you would like, please sign our mailing list so you can get our emails we send out once a week to know what's going on. Welcome all of our visitors, y'all. So glad to see you guys today. We're going to head out today saying our prayer for protection. Say with me, the light of God surrounds me. The love of God, the power of God protects us. Over us. Oh, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All is truly well, y'all. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the sunshine, y'all.
Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, in the whisper of the tree. Love is in the